What if the problem was never you? What if it was never your memory, never your accent, never some missing language gene that other people seem to have and you don't? I want to ask you something honest. You've studied English for years, maybe 5 years, maybe 10. You know grammar rules most native speakers couldn't explain to you. And yet, the moment someone asks you a real question in English, something simple, "What did you do yesterday?" your mind goes blank. Welcome to Jacob English Academy. If that just described you, I need you to hear this clearly. It is not because you lack ability. It is not because you lack time. It is because of how your practice is organized. Most learners do one of 3 things. They binge study once a week for 3 hours and call it consistency. They memorize vocabulary lists full of words they will never actually say out loud. Or they watch English videos passively, understanding everything, producing nothing. None of these build the one skill that actually matters, which is speaking under pressure, in real time, without a script. So today, I want to give you something different. Not another app, not another list of 500 words. A structure. I call it the 15-30-15 method, and it is exactly what it sounds like. 15 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the middle of the day, 15 minutes in the evening, 1 hour total, split into 3 sessions. And each session has one specific job. Morning wakes your English up. Midday turns what you know into something you can actually say. Evening is where most people lose everything they built, and I'm going to show you exactly why and exactly how to stop it. Here's the theory behind this, and it matters, because once you understand it, you'll stop blaming yourself. There's a difference between recognizing a word and retrieving it. When you read a word or hear it and understand it, that's recognition. It's passive. It's easy. But when you need to produce that exact word from nothing, under time pressure, in the middle of a sentence you're building live, that's retrieval. And it is a completely different skill. You can recognize 10,000 words and still freeze on "what did you do yesterday?" because your English has spent all its time in your eyes and almost none of it in your voice. This method exists to move it from your eyes into your voice. Let's build session 1 together. Morning, 15 minutes. First, choose one short piece of audio, something slightly above your comfort level, not something exhausting. Listen once, just for the general idea. Don't chase every word. Second listen. Pull out 3 sentences you actually like, sentences you could realistically use this week. Drill each one the same way. Listen to it, repeat it out loud, then try to say it again completely from memory, no audio playing. Third, pick one small pronunciation target for the day, just one sound, one pattern, nothing more. Fourth, read a short list of survival phrases out loud. Things like, "Could you say that again?" or "Let me think about that." And finally, before you close this session, choose one specific moment today when you will actually speak English, even briefly. That's it. 15 minutes, done. Now session 2, midday, 30 minutes, the real engine of this method. This session has 3 movements. Movement 1, about 10 minutes. Speak freely about something personal and familiar. Your day, your weekend, your work. I'll model this with you. A fuller answer first, then a simpler, completely acceptable version. So wherever your level is, you have a version that fits you. And when you forget a word, don't stop. Describe around it. That's not cheating. That's a real skill called circumlocution, and fluent speakers use it constantly. Movement 2, 10 minutes. Record yourself answering a prompt for 60 to 90 seconds. Then listen back, not as a judge, as a mirror. You're not hunting for everything wrong. Find exactly one issue, fix it, and record a short, improved version. One fix, not a total rebuild. Movement 3, 10 minutes. Go back to this morning's audio and retell it in your own words. Then imagine a small personal situation and respond to it using the same expressions. Now listening, memory, and speaking are working together instead of separately. Quick pause here, because I need to warn you about something. Some of you are going to choose audio that's far too difficult because struggling through it feels like serious effort. It isn't. If you understand almost nothing, you're not learning. You're just exhausted. The right level is where you follow the main message and get stretched by a few new expressions, not buried under 50 of them. And here's something to carry through your whole day, not just your sessions. Thinking in English doesn't mean constant internal monologue. It means small observations. You see a cup, you think, That's my cup. Then you stretch it. That's my cup. It's empty. I should refill it. One observation, then a reason, a detail, or a plan, turning one thought into 2 or 3 connected sentences. Do this while walking, while making tea, while waiting for a bus. Remember the core rule of this whole method. Simple spoken English beats elegant unspoken English. Every single time. Now session 3. Evening, 15 minutes. The session almost everyone skips, and exactly the reason progress disappears. Without looking at notes, try to recall this morning's 3 sentences and what you talked about at midday. If you can only remember 2, that's fine. That's useful information, not failure. Next, choose just 1 or 2 errors that kept showing up today, the ones that actually affected meaning, and drill each one inside 2 or 3 brand new sentences, building a pattern you can reuse. Then record a short reflection, 30 seconds. What happened today? How it felt? One thing to improve tomorrow. Finally, decide tomorrow's practice goal right now, tonight, so tomorrow morning you're not wasting energy deciding, you're just starting. Let me show you this whole method through one person, a learner I'll call Maya. Maya's morning. She picked a 4-minute podcast clip about weekend routines, pulled out 3 sentences including, I ended up staying in most of the weekend, drilled them, and set today's speaking goal, ordering her coffee in English. Midday. She recorded a 90-second answer about her week, listened back, and caught herself pausing awkwardly before the word presentation. Recorded a cleaner second take. Then she retold the morning's podcast in her own words and used I ended up staying inside a brand new sentence about her own weekend. Evening, she recalled 2 of her 3 morning sentences, corrected 1 recurring habit, mixing up since and for, drilled it in 3 new sentences, recorded a short reflection, and chose tomorrow's topic. Talking about her job. Notice something. The topic changes every day. Work, travel, family, whatever. The structure never does. Now let's clear away your excuses, because I already know some of them. Perhaps you're thinking you're too busy for a full hour. Fine, shrink each session instead of skipping it. 5 minutes still beats 0. Perhaps you miss a session entirely some days. Don't treat it as failure. Just pick up at the next slot. Missing morning doesn't cancel midday. Perhaps you have no one to practice with. You don't need a partner. Describe your room. Record yourself. Role-play both sides of a conversation. Perhaps you genuinely don't know what to talk about. Keep a rotating list of 7 topics, 1 per day. Work, food, family, weekend, goals, a memory, an opinion, and you'll never stare at a blank page again. Perhaps you're embarrassed about your accent. Stop chasing sounding native. Aim for being understood. That's the actual goal, and it's already within reach. A few more, because I want every excuse gone before we finish. Perhaps you keep forgetting vocabulary no matter how many words you collect. Stop collecting more and go deeper on fewer. 10 words you can actually retrieve under pressure beat 200 words sitting quietly in a notebook you never reopen. Perhaps you're afraid of being laughed at if you try to speak in front of others. Start privately, alone in your room. Record yourself. Get comfortable with your own voice first, and only then take small, graduated social risks. 1 short sentence with a stranger, 1 comment in a group chat, building outward from safety, not diving into the deep end. Perhaps native speech just feels too fast to ever follow. It's not that your ears are broken. It's that you're listening for individual sounds instead of word groups. Drop down to shorter, simpler audio for a while, and train yourself to catch whole chunks of meaning. What did you? I'm gonna, kind of like. As single units, instead of separate words racing past you. And perhaps, honestly, your motivation is just gonna fade at some point, because everyone's does. So don't rely on motivation at all. Prepare your materials the night before. Attach each session to something you already do automatically. Morning session, right after you brush your teeth. Midday session, right after lunch. Evening session, right before you check your phone one last time. Build it into your day so it doesn't need your willpower to survive. Let's talk about what you can realistically expect, honestly, not as a promise, as a pattern I've seen again and again. By day 7, you'll likely notice something small but real, more awareness of your own voice, a little less discomfort hitting record. By day 30, recall on familiar topics starts feeling faster, and words you've drilled start showing up without you hunting for them. By day 90, the whole routine feels less like effort and more like habit. Fast native speech becomes easier to follow, and when you make a mistake, you recover from it almost instantly, instead of freezing. These depend on your starting point and your consistency, not on luck. Here's the real shift I want you to walk away with. Stop telling yourself, "I'm terrible at English." That sentence describes a permanent identity, and it's simply not true. Try this instead. "I'm building my English one session at a time." That sentence describes a process, and processes move. You are not waiting for some future day when you'll finally be fluent enough to participate. You are already participating right now, every time you open your mouth and try. I want you to picture yourself 7 days from now, sitting exactly where you're sitting right now, except this time you're not dreading the word speak. You've said your own morning sentences out loud 30, 40, 50 times by then. You've heard your own recorded voice enough times that it no longer makes you flinch. That version of you is not a fantasy. That version of you is just 7 small, ordinary days away, and every single one of those days looks exactly like the one I just walked you through. So here's your challenge. 7 days. Just 7. 15 minutes this morning, 30 at midday, 15 tonight. Comment, "Day 1 done," the moment you finish your first full round today. I read every single one. 15, 30, 15. That's the whole rhythm. That's the whole method. If this helped you, subscribe. Jacob English Academy is here to walk through this with you every single day. I'll see you in the next session.